Hey guys, I'm here in my studio with Seth, and we were talking about equipment and what people want to buy. We get the question all the time, and we kind of thought about, well, what's for you is really the question, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think we get that asked a lot because everyone has different needs. They don't know what they're shooting, what their actual environment they're shooting in is.
Yeah, like you might say, like I can't say, hey, like you have the Nikon D850, which is pretty amazing, but that's not for everybody, right? That's the camera that's right for you, right? So I think that's what we're going to talk a little bit about here, and one thing that we have an abundance of, luckily.
We're just ballers with all this Profoto.
All this Profoto stuff. And we just happen to have, we got finally, Seth was able to get his hands on some A1s.
Yeah, which I've been wanting to for quite a while.
And they're pretty cool. And we thought we would do the line of kind of the current OCF or battery powered Profoto stuff. So the A1, the B2, and the B1X.
Yeah, and you've been using the Profoto in almost everything the B1's been in almost every live demo at Adorama.
Yeah, it's a great system. I mean, I used Profoto before that. I used the Acute system, and even back then you could have been like Acute versus Pro versus...
Yeah, and we almost thought about bringing those out to show you the full evolution of it, but maybe that's another video. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to see the evolution of these lines.
Yeah, exactly. You can see where things are going and where they might go in the future, but not that we get that inside information, though we'd like to have it Profoto. But so we've got the A1s, and I mean, so I don't know, like who is this for, do you think?
I think this is just, I know they don't want to call it a speed light. They keep on saying it's the world's smallest studio light, but honestly, this is such a great light for me personally because I'm throwing speed lights into my studio setups like crazy. And this closes the Profoto system, right? Like it is the remote, it talks seamlessly with the existing system. Right. So if you're already in there, this is the add-on. This is the final touch.
Yeah, right. So why would you use a speed light? Why do you use?
I use speedlights because they're crazy convenient. There's a lot of control in them, and I can actually stick them in places. They're not a lot of weight. I mean, I just feel like the only limitation I have on speedlights is the power. Right,
I think that's it, right? The speed, there's a couple of different like philosophies to lighting or general ways of lighting, and one is kind of that use big sources, and for those you want a lot of power, and there's also the light lots of little things, or the combination, which is what oftentimes we end up doing. You know, you might use a big one and then some little ones for highlight. And what's great about little lights like speed lights or like the A1 is that they can get real close and in tight spaces and put in places you wouldn't, Yeah,
but the thing about this speed light, the thing about this small studio light that I'm finding is that when I do mix it with a bigger system, this lens matches the quality of the light. Right. That's the thing. So when I throw my Nikons in there, great lights, but they still have a hard, dense lens to them that they make a dense light. This is so even, and the fall off is the key. The fall off from this lens is so perfect.
Right, exactly. This, for now, lens they put on the front, if you guys aren't familiar with the A1, we're not going to get super into specs because I can never memorize anything, but this actually makes the light really nice and even, and you can still zoom it and everything. What's cool about this to me is that, kind of you opened with this, is that it completes the system, right? It can be a remote, it uses the same remote. So, like, if I want to, let's say, add a speed light to my current Profoto setup, I'm either going to put it on optical, or I'm going to use, let's say, Pocket Wizard's on everything. Right, this allows me to not have to have any of that. Right, it's a remote if I want it to be, but I can also use my little remote and put this off camera. So I think that's really.
I mean, right there, you're looking at A, B, C, D as the groups, and the beam angle right here at the top. So I can actually change that beam angle. You can see right there. But one thing that is really shocking about this, and this sounds stupid, but I go right here to the modeling light, and boom, I have a modeling light. So this came in handy for me in my last shoot because I was doing those still lights for that magazine, and it was a long exposure. I cut all the lights in the room, and I couldn't focus a macro lens when it was that dark. So I just went from camera, modeling light on, saw it, focused, modeling light off, and I was good to go. I didn't even move. And if you saw that setup, I couldn't move.
Yeah, maybe once that goes to publication, we can maybe show some of that. We'll see. Yeah, I think, a modeling light, and you probably see me use the other Profoto systems all the time. I often don't turn on the modeling light, but when you need it, it's so useful to have.
Plus you can do tricks, right? Like, me, shutter drags. Yeah. You have it. Like, the reason I couldn't do pop and blur a lot of times with speed lights alone was because there was no constant light source to use.
Yeah, you couldn't do a really controlled pop and blur. You could use the light in the space, but you couldn't control it like we sometimes do by adding another light. So that's cool. I mean, it has a TTL, it has manual, you can use it as a remote, that's all great.
Lock in TTL.
Right, though it has the way Profoto operates, which is fantastic, where you use the TTL almost like a light meter, set the exposure, switch to manual, tweak it. I use that all the time. So it doesn't have a couple of things though, right? No optical slip.
Before we go into note what it doesn't have, can we just mention the one thing it does have?
Hold on.
rechargeable lithium battery.
Oh yes, the battery. See, I'm so spoiled by that.
My big problem with the speedlights usually is 12 AA's per light.
Yeah.
So that's an extra pack, extra weight.
Yeah, and why 12? Because you're using a battery pack.
Right.
The battery pack is going to allow you to shoot faster, which really puts it more on par with how fast you can shoot with this and how long it'll last. Yeah, exactly. So they're great. I mean, if you do events or you shoot a lot or use them in replacement of a studio light, the battery pack is pretty much an essential part of a speedlight kit.
It's also another $200 accessory, right? So now you're taking a $600 light and you made it $800.
Yep.
This is about $9+. Like, I think the question of why this is a higher priced item is answered.
Yeah, right. And it has the remote built in. You know, again, that works with your Profoto and fast to recycle.
Recycle. Okay, so that's how much we love everything.
No, these are great. I mean, we actually did the launch. Wasn't official.
So you actually got first crack at this, and I'm not gonna lie, I was really jealous about this, and I hated this light when it came out. I said a lot of bad things. So I was like, oh, it's a high price, this, blah, blah, and then we used it, and then it was like, got it.
Yeah, it's funny, and I appreciated that you felt that way because that's the way I felt about the B1. When Cliff first showed it to me, I was like, I don't need TTL, I don't need battery powered. I'm in the studio all the time. I love my B1s. Oh my God, I can't live without them. It's like amazing. I didn't know how freeing it was to not have any wires. It's like so crazy.
It's the control on that light and not having to worry about where you're pulling it or how to rig it or just having someone hand hold it, like when you need it real fast, like everything. Yeah. Everything is just so.
Yeah, you do get spoiled, so I will say that. But yeah, so we were talking about some of the things that I don't want to say we don't like, but that aren't available.
A little bit of a minus.
Yeah, and no optical slave, which I was kind of surprised by.
Yeah, I was shocked by actually.
I mean, and that's another thing like the modeling light that I don't use that often in my other lights, but I always just expect it's there.
Well, it's like the one thing you can always depend on, right? Like all else fails, I can throw a light in there. I don't have to, and if I'm under a time crunch, I guess make sure, like a good guess, and I get the optical on and it'll fire. But so if I'm using any other system, this isn't really going to be thrown in there.
Right, unless you use it as a master, which isn't always the way you want to operate.
Right.
So if you do happen to find yourself in a situation where you're not using an air remote, you can't really fire this.
Unless you get an optical shoe mount.
Like a Wien or whatever.
But those are very unreliable.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a minus, and I was a little bit surprised. But actually, I think when you said to me, I was like, no, I think it has an optical because I didn't even think to look. I just assumed.
I was trying everything I could with this light.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. That wouldn't be a deal breaker for me, but certainly if you do that kind of stuff, it's something to be aware of.
At least there's options for that. Yeah. But I also want the firmware to update and give me multi-pop. This has the recycle time on it. I mean, this thing can recycle fast enough. I mean, this is like at 5, and it's going. Like, if it has that ability, because when you use like the Nikon, for example, it can only go up to 1/8 power for the maximum to do repetitive. This can go more than that. Yeah. Give me more power, and it doesn't want me to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's funny. You use multi-pop a lot, right? I mean, and some people do, I suppose. I hardly ever use it, but again, it's a cool feature, and I do kind of wish they had it, and they probably could upgrade that with.
I think it's just a firmware issue.
Yeah, make a all black version, no, an all white version to match your white t-shirts. We'll call it the Seth.
I'm wearing black today for Profoto.
That's right, but we're gonna get a white version of this. It's gonna be the Last Witness version. It only does multi-pop.
Oh, that's so
only multi-pop. We're working on it.
Can we talk about the accessories?
Yeah, sure.
So when I did my version of like you did yours, and then I like months later got to do mine like a couple weeks ago on Instagram.
And you got 2 of them.
Yeah. I asked him for 3, but we're not going to get into that. I was like, man, can I put boxes on them? And like, we'd rather you just be able to use whatever comes. I'm like, oh man, and you know what? They came through. Like, it looked great. So my favorite pairing, I don't know what yours is, but. So it comes with this, right? It comes with it comes with what their version of a dome is. Actually, all right. So this is their version of the dome, right? So this is like the little square dome or the Stoffen that's out there. This is their version of it. It has magnets on the outside. So their mount system is all magnet based, right? It also comes with the wide angle adapter, which I'm going to say for the first time in history, this is a wide angle adapter that actually does the job. And you can stack them, right? So I can do a wide angle, I can put that on there. And then it also comes with this little bonnet, which they call the soft mounts, which my favorite combination of this is putting this on top. All right, and then the dome right here, my favorite combination is just throwing it right in there like this, because it's all magnets, they just all stackable. So this will actually fill this little bonnet way more even, and it's actually it's just like a softbox.
Nice.
But
Also, like if you were like trying to collect stuff,
oh, jeez.
like I don't know,
Well, I mean, I will say this. I was like, oh, look at how sleek and Darth Vader this light looks. And then I'm like, a bonnet?
well, no, but this makes it. They should make it like with the flowers on it for the spring. Like it'd be really cool, right? Like it could stylize your.
I guarantee you someone's going to do something to there.
We should do it. We should. This could be our business. You saw it here
I'm
first.
going to put a girl crying blood on the outside of this thing. Yeah.
The last ex-witness. So white.
Witness, not with the X. Jeez.
No X. All white Profoto. Bloody girl on the outside.
And then their gel systems, which are like their own kind of animal with this like gel holder going on.
Yeah, I both love and hate that they're hard.
Yeah,
Like it's cool that they're hard because like they'll blast and you won't because I have so many crushed gels in my bag. But also the fact they're hard is just another thing to carry around. You got to put it in with their little doodad.
gel, and then it'll tell you like what. Because I don't know if it's going to focus, but on the little tab there, it'll say full CTR or whatever. It'll sit in there, and then you put and it holds it in there, and then
You know what you got to get? I didn't actually check it, but I wonder if they sell that separately. They must. If they do, and you're going to get this, I recommend getting several of these and just preload them.
Yeah.
That's what I do with the gel holder on my other Profoto stuff, and it's great. You know.
Yeah.
It adds that.
I've never been a fan of like proprietary gel systems. I
Yeah.
just like getting sheets and chucking them on lights.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, I think it's nice. The reason why this is good is because you can then put it under your other modifiers.
that's kind of.
I think that's the key.
Just be wary of stacking too many of these magnets at once because it does just after a while Jenga over.
Oh yeah, well that makes sense.
I mean, they're just magnets, so it's like what are they gonna do? But I think and there's the little bounce card.
Oh right, you can't go wrong with the bounce card.
So here, do me a favor, hold this.
What am I holding?
Just here, so I can. All right, so this is the holder. This is the little bounce card.
I love this bounce card.
And this just goes in there like this, and then you just take your light and you officially have a bounce card. So usually on other lights of this genre, as I say, you would pull the card out, and I ripped the card out of every single one of
Yeah,
mine.
and those are all junk. And then my combination that I like is that. There you go.
Yeah, I'm more into the bonnet.
Yeah, I think the bonnet may have been in pre-production when I did. I think I only used it for like a second.
get a chance to use it.
Yeah, it didn't.
In fact, when you got yours, just fun little side fact, this was all 3D printed stuff for you. There was only one in the world.
Yeah, we had, don't break it. And I,
Oh my God, it was a prototype. It was like we were on the roof in Brooklyn. I was like, oh my, I can't believe I'm holding this thing.
Right.
It just felt really special. But then it shot special.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're using it as a fill light in daylight, I think that's what they're kind of really pushing is like the affinitive fill light. But in reality, the control this gives you and the fall off is so great for studio. It's like crazy to me.
But isn't that basically like going back to the beginning, even though I know it's not a speed light? That's kind of what speed lights are, right? They're on-camera light. Yeah, that generally speaking, unless you're going to walk around like in an event and shoot or whatever, that's a separate thing. But they're the kind of light that you can mix the light in the room really easily,
Right, yeah.
and take control of it, but that you can take off the camera. And I think that's really what this is. Like, I think that in functionality, it can work really great for anybody that wants a camera light. Like, put this on here with the bonnet or whatever, run around, fill flash, whatever. But you can also take it and make it like studio light. I mean, on some level.
Well, what I had a lot of fun with it is what I do a lot in my live streams is I use the B1 as a key, and then since this is camera mounted, it's already at lens axis, so this is my fill light.
Yeah, you got built-in fill light. You can dial it up and down, turn it on.
And it's controlling my key light at the same time.
Controlling your key light. So I think that's it, right? So I think for me, like who's this for in my mind? I mean, forget about whatever the marketing there at Profoto wants to pitch. I think you got two different kinds of people that are going to want this light. One would be the kind of person that likes to have a flash on the camera, or like a wedding photographer that's going to run around, portrait photographer, you shoot senior portraits. They're all, my niece just graduated. Like all these senior portraits, when I went to school, it was like this terrible backdrop. You know, now they like go out in the park and do all kinds of fun stuff. Like this would be great for that kind of work, you know? And then there's like the guy or girl that wants to do studio work sometimes and doesn't want to take a lot of space, because I think it'll be good for that.
I just think it's like I know they're like calling it a speed light, but I think it's just a speed light done right. Like all the issues we've had that I'm wondering why speed lights haven't fixed in a while, like the battery or the lens system, they've fixed it and they've done it really well. It's built really well, and there's no interface issues. Like I am looking at the light, I'm getting what I want out of it, and I'm shooting. I'm not going, hold this, spin that, do that. Like everything other system, you're playing Pac-Man.
Yeah,
you know?
True. I mean, I like Pac-Man, but
Yeah.
you know what's interesting is I used to say, and I think I'll say this now about this light, is that but when people would ask me about speed lights, I always say, well, the Quantum or the Q flashes were the kind of like pro speed light that you would use for things if you did that kind of work, like when you want to step it up. I think this replaces that. Like it's got beautiful light coming out of it. You don't need a separate pack for it. It's lithium.
Yeah,
so I
it's
think
just your pack,
in the world of like in the world of small flash, we'll call it because it's not a speed light. This is really that. I don't know if they have, but if they don't, they need to make an OCF adapter to go OCF to this. Because, I mean, I've rigged it by sticking it in the back, but I could see totally using this as a secondary.
They do have the Rfi mount, so they do have a mount that you can put these shoe mount lights into to use any of their RFI boxes.
Right, but that's for any light.
Yeah, that's for any light. But the OCF would make
It would be nice to make this an adapter to bring it. I mean, really, all they need to make is a donut that goes here to make it the other sides. Because one thing that's great about Profoto, if you guys don't know this, is they've had that, whatever, 4-inch slidey size thing forever.
Yeah.
So, like, all their stuff is compatible, you know, unless it's like a heat issue. So, yeah, making this some adapter, if they don't have it already, I would want that. And, you know, I don't think they can add an optical sleeve. Maybe that'll be in the A2. But certainly with firmware, they probably could do...
I mean, we're still early. I mean, this is just... They got these out. They're still making shoe mounts for other...
yeah, hopefully we'll see it for other brands. Right now it's Canon, Nikon, right?
Canon, Nikon, Fuji's coming, Sony's coming, I think. Don't quote me on that. But I just think they did it right. And I really like this. And the fact that I can buy like 3 of these, keep one in, one going, one charging, one already charged, and you're done. Instead, I'm juggling. I have 4 or 5 speed lights, 12 batteries of light.
Yeah, and okay, you can say, oh, we'll just get rechargeable batteries. Well, sure, but then you have all these chargers.
That's the other thing. I have a bag just for charging.
Yeah, so I think really that's to me the strength. So somebody who travels, somebody who needs lightweight, but somebody doesn't need a tremendous amount of power because they are about 75 watt seconds.
Yeah, they're about 75 watt, but they're more efficient.
Oh, they're definitely efficient, but
So
compared...
you get more out of that light.
Right, but compared to the other Profoto stuff that we're going to talk about in the next video.
Yeah.
So, right, so that's like, you know, we're going to talk about the B2 system and the B1X, and I think that's in the end of these 3 videos, we'll hopefully give you an idea of which one is right for you, right? Any final thoughts on this?
Before you buy, I think everyone was expecting like a super powered light. It's not that it's a super powered light. It's that it's more efficient and a better workflow, and it's just cleaner.
Yeah, it's the smallest studio light in the sense of the quality of light that comes from it, not from the amount of power per se. And again, power isn't everything. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the little bell.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, leave comments. Do you want to see more videos like this? Because we're starting to really get the 1200 sessions going again. So
And if you have this light, tell us your thoughts. What did you find that was like your plus? What setup? What combination of modifiers do you use?
Yeah, I'd like to know what other people are doing with them, really,
I would
because
really like to know what
they're pretty fresh out in the wilderness. So yeah, it'd be nice to know what people are doing. Make sure you follow Seth, Last X Witness on social. Follow me, of course, Daniel X. No, I don't have an X. Don't follow Daniel X. Daniel X is my bizarre.
That is now.
Now there's a Daniel X somewhere. But yeah, we'll see you next time.